Welcome back to another episode of Interesting Ideas. My name is Stan Houston, and it's my privilege and my pleasure because I know that you could be doing something else, but the fact that you give me a few minutes to listen to some of my ideas and perhaps share them with others, and thank you very much for your response. I'm already beginning to get some great ideas from not only the people I run into, but from you. These are the people who make the program what it is. So it's not just me. I look for interesting ideas all over the place, and perhaps I even come up with a few, but it's people out there. As one of my mentors once said, he said, make sure you have a number of people who are helping you to do whatever you do. And then he had this wonderful old line. Now here's an interesting idea. He said, independent, individual intelligence is terminal. Independent, individual intelligence is terminal. If it's just your intelligence, you're probably in trouble. Well, that's an interesting idea, and I think it's probably a good one, so you can let it sit on your head for a while. Today is a very special day because this whole week is what those of us who celebrate the life of Jesus in the Christian tradition. We go through the time leading up to his crucifixion on what is called Good Friday, and then the time where the celebration of his resurrection on what is called Resurrection or Easter Sunday. And this is what is called Maundy Thursday. And there's quite a story about where that comes from, but that's for another time. I just want to take a few minutes today to think about a little bit of what happened on this day, and then perhaps put it into my life and your life. Some of you may know the story. Because Jesus knew what was going to happen, on the Thursday, he invited his friends, his colleagues, his posse, so to speak, to celebrate the Passover, the holy Jewish festival, which celebrates the release of the Israelites from their captivity in Egypt, and the fact that they survived as the death angel did the work of finally convincing Pharaoh that as the firstborn in the entire country were slain by the death angel. And the Passover was that celebration that because the Israelites had posted on their door the mark of blood, that the death angel would pass over them. And then, as a result of that plague, boom, get out of here, Pharaoh said, and they left. It wasn't that easy. There's more to the story, but that's where the celebration takes place on Passover. It's a very special day. And it was in Jesus' day, so he wanted to celebrate that dinner with his friends. And that's where it happened. He tells them what's going to happen, and he tells them that someone is going to betray him. And the man Judas is the one. Now, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of stories about why Judas did what he did, and all kinds of speculation. But in effect, he cut a deal with the authorities where, for a nice piece of change, he said, I'll lead you to him and I'll help you capture him. And that's exactly what he did. Oftentimes people say, and I've had a program where I actually said something like this in a light-hearted way, but then I had a serious point, and that's what I'm going to do today. It says, why in the world did Jesus choose Judas? Why did he do that? If he knew that he was going to betray him, why did he choose him? I mean, after all, these were the people that he said, follow me, and he was the one who, invited them in and worked with them, ministered with them, did miracles with him, did healings, did those things that really validated what he claimed to be. Judas was part of the cohort, part of the gang, part of the team that did just that. And now, for some reason, he decides that he's going to betray Jesus. Well, why? Who knows? We can speculate. Maybe someday, if it's still important and all of eternity, we'll get the full story. As Paul Harvey used to say, perhaps we'll get the rest of the story. But I think I know part of the reason, and this is just my idea. I don't know about you, but it's happened to me, and perhaps it has happened to you. And I think Jesus knew it was going to happen to many of us. What's going to happen is somebody he loved and trusted betrayed him badly. I think part of the reason is that someday, when we talk to the master of the universe, we may tell him of some bad things that happened to us. I have been badly betrayed by people who I thought were my friends and colleagues. Yeah. And as he hears my story, if it's still important for me to tell it at that time, he can simply say, yes, I know. And of course, I'll get it. Yes, I know. Yes, he knows what it's like to be betrayed. It says he came to earth to demonstrate that he would suffer all the things that men and women suffer and can suffer. He takes them and suffers them all. In turn, he can empathize with our condition, and he can very much be the savior of our condition. Yeah, Jesus knows what it's like to be betrayed. Let that just sit on your head for a moment, and just give me a few minutes more on this Maundy Thursday, and we'll finish it up. I oftentimes call it the J-E event. The J-E, the Judas event. It's something that happens to us, will probably happen to many of us. We'll have a Judas in our life. We'll have a Judas event. But it's also very interesting that perhaps the answer to that is to remember the Jesus event. That in effect, he demonstrated what he did. I actually believe that if Judas had not taken his own life, that after the resurrection, if Judas came up and said, "Master, I'm sorry," I believe that Jesus would have forgiven him. The Jesus event and the Judas event. And I'd like you to think about that, perhaps to remember it and then seek to forgive it if you can. But always be aware of it. Remember, Jesus said, you will have troubles. This is a difficult world to live in. You know, I know that. I did that. And so I understand what you're going through. Yep, the Jesus event and the Judas event. And what they might mean to you and I is something that we can think about on this Maundy Thursday. Best and blessings to you if you join me in the celebration of this time. May it be different this time. May it be even more special. May you learn something and experience something, and may you have some real power come into your life that you've never had before. It's been a difficult COVID time, and now we need more power so that we can live more fully and live more fully alive, that we can have a real resurrection of our own hopes, dreams, and wishes. And that's something that the man who went through the mess knows about, and he can help us rise again. Best and blessings to you. Bye for now.